Okay, we're going to look at Newcastle United versus Sunderland. This is the lunchtime kick-off on Sunday afternoon. Big derby fixture at St James's Park, we'll call it. Newcastle, to begin with, disappointing couple of weeks really. Lost 5-0 to Spurs and then threw a 2-0 lead away at home to Wolves. But they have made a habit this season of coming out of a slightly bad patch with a big result. They beat Manchester United after a slightly indifferent run. And at home to your local rivals is a good chance to get yourself back on track, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like as we said before, they started the season so well, slumps started in, and they've all of a sudden put themselves back in contention for Champions League football, which at the start of the season would have been unbelievable. But yeah, it's a huge game for them. As I said, they've come off the back of a bad result. I mean, 2-0 up against a relegation team with no manager, you would expect them to go on and win the points, and they've got the players. They had the players to do it, but they didn't do it. So this is a big game for them. And there's only 10 points separating Sunderland and Newcastle. Where at the start of the season the gap was huge, and Sunderland's still capable of catching them. So they want to stay clear.
Okay, and Alan Pardew's men have got decent home form. They won 4 of their last 5 on home soil, so they'll desperately want that to continue again. Because they lose at home to Sunderland, then suddenly, you know, they're looking more at like top 8 rather than top 5 or 6, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've got to keep. They've had their stumbles. If they've got real European football ambitions, they've got to keep pace with the teams around them. Now, luckily, I say we've seen this weekend and last weekend a lot of teams around them are playing each other. So you've obviously got Spurs, Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool. So they've got to capitalise. They've got to capitalise if they've got real ambitions of finishing top 5.
Okay, and Sunderland. Perhaps their current form is too good to be true in a way up until last weekend because they were hammered at West Brom. Kind of a game too far possibly in their run of form. They're one of 4 teams on 33 points in kind of the middle of the table, and they'll be, you know, much as Martin O'Neill might not say that, you know, they don't want to stay up considering their start they had, but they'll want a top 10 finish, won't they? And in that case, this is kind of a big game, I'd say.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, a reality check like that, because when you go on a run like he did when Martin O'Neill joined the club, expectations get way too high, and maybe it was sort of a game too far for them, and obviously their form has been so good, you didn't know where they were going to finish up, but I think it's all about how they respond in this game. It's the biggest game for them to respond to.
Okay, and they want revenge as well, because they lost at home to Newcastle earlier this season.
Yeah, and there's been also all manner of talk. I mean, Martin O'Neill still maintains that it's only survival he's after.
Not convinced about that.
No, I don't necessarily agree with them, especially they've got themselves in position to maybe, I mean, there's still 13 games after the season, so
yeah.
I mean, they've still got time to, as they catch Newcastle or push themselves up into that top 7, so I mean, this is a big game for them. If they can win here, then who knows where they might end up.
And just very quickly, it's a local derby and we haven't said form goes out the window yet, so I just want to say that form goes out the window in this game, doesn't it?
In that case, we should be in for a rip snort.
Okay, we'll go for a prediction on this one. Newcastle at home to Sunderland. I think it's going to be a good game actually, really good between 2 teams that will go for it, I think. But I'm going for a 3-2 home win. I think Alan Pardew's men will just about have too much for Sunderland.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think their home form just puts Newcastle slightly ahead, so I'll go for a 2-1 Newcastle win.